Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Teachers Talk podcast. My name is Alex, but in these podcasts, I go by Jeff, as that's what my professional counterparts know me as. So today, I'm joined by two of my colleagues at York University, and you've seen us before on the podcast before. We have had a bunch of classes together, so we're super tight. And so welcome Alex and David back. So again, as we're sort of getting into our second year and as year one came to a close, I just thought we should talk about how we're preparing for our second year of Teachers College and what we sort of did over the summer. It's going to be a little bit more of a fun and relaxed podcast. It might not be as structured, a little more conversation. So I'm really looking forward to it. But what have you guys been getting up to over the summer?
Oh man, so it's been quite a ride for the last 18 months or so, 18 months roughly. Um, let's see, classes finished around like mid-April, took 2 summer school classes, and they were each, they were both fun, both learned a lot in both of them. It's funny, for my most recent one, was very writing oriented, kind of very like poem based, and as someone who's never been good at poetry, I had to write a poem about something, and I literally included Batman as a reference in my poem.
Nice.
Hand to God, I made 2 Batman references, and I got an A+ on it. And I was like, this is the best prof I've had in my entire life. I can literally make poems about superheroes and not flop on it. So that was part of my informal tone, but that was amazing. Like, it was a lot of fun. So that class was a lot of fun. The guy was really cool. And yeah, so that's from the school perspective and kind of like personal. Been doing summer camps at the basketball academy. I did 3 weeks in July. I worked this past week, and I'm working another week now. So I'm gonna have like a 3-week straight blitz. Very glad to be finished. It's exhausting, and as much as I love what I do, it's very tiring. 7 hours a day, and then do sessions in the evening 3 times a week as well. So it's very tiring. But yeah, I love what I do. It's a lot of fun. Always seeing like the kids being active, because their mental health is something that, we talk a lot about, adults navigating and older people navigating, so on and so forth, but we don't talk about 8-year-olds or 12-year-olds or 16-year-olds. At least what I find. I'm not on social media. I don't watch news anymore. But yeah, so like seeing them happy and active is like, it means a lot, especially kind of going to the field that we're going into. I have one thing that's been awesome about working at this academy is I've met a lot of teachers, and who work at different schools here in Oakville, a few in Burlington, a few in Hamilton. And so just networking, talking to them about like, what's an interview process like? What are some things I should have? The benefits of having connections and just networking. I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks, I can start looking at international schools, maybe for next September. But yeah, second year is going to be fun. It's going to be wild. Placements is going to be fun. Obviously, I'm sure that we'll have our challenges to it. But yeah, like, first year was a lot of fun. Summer is, we're recording this on August 15th, so I don't know when this will come out, but it's been wild. I'm trying to enjoy the last 3 weeks, I guess. Trying to enjoy the last 3 weeks of summer as much as I can. But yeah, in terms of stuff like job applications, not that, like, I'm very much an organized person. I like to do things on time. When it comes to something like that, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I'll take a look at it in December, January. I don't want to look at it right now. Like, we've had a lot of wild stuff happen. Off camera, we talked a little bit about, some behind the scenes things that were happening at the academy last couple of weeks that have been a little bit wild. Everyone's been a little bit, on edge, a little tense. So I'm just trying to enjoy the rest of my summer, with my family, with my friends, go through, hopefully problem free for the next 3 weeks. But obviously I'm excited for second year. A little bit apprehensive, in terms of what it's going to be like, going back to a school, because I haven't been in a classroom since March 2020. So my first, like, I don't, like, my social skills are gone. Like, I'm not gonna know, like, I'm gonna open a chair, sit down. It's like, what do I do now? So that's gonna be entertaining, I think, for all of us. But yeah, first year was good. Enjoy my summer classes. Work's been good. And now I'm just kind of plugging along, trying to enjoy the next 3 weeks of summer.
Yeah. So like Alex, I took two summer electives to get them out of the way before practicum and basically calm before the storm. Um, my first summer elective was probably the most fun I've had in terms of a course in my teaching career, I guess. It was outdoor education and sustainable education, which was really fun. It actually made me like rethink, like, should I be applying to like outdoor schools because they sound so interesting, being out in the forest all day and just learning from nature and just learning from the ground up, pretty much. And of course, I've been doing my part-time live streaming services for a church and doing some volunteer work with the youth ministry at the parish. So I think the live stream definitely has kept me up to date with working on a computer and technology, even though I wish my eyes could give me a break since online learning. And youth ministry definitely helped me really understand, I guess, students and kids better and how they think and how to really, I guess, disguise a question and relate it to their lives. Because when they first don't respond to your questions, you have to rethink it and wonder, how can I relate it to, their life and their social ways to better and support and cater to them. In terms of, the summer, now that I've done the electives and all my work, I've just been trying to relax, take some time for myself, get out there, kayak, golf, fish, sit out on the floaties for a couple hours in the sun, whatever I can to just kind of get my mind off of school and take it easy.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to repeat a couple similar things, but there have been some key differences for me. So yeah, obviously over the course of the summer, I took two classes. I mean, I talked about them on my YouTube channel, obviously. So I've sort of kept up to date with that, and obviously I'm posting YouTube content. I've spent a lot of time over the summer working on that and putting stuff together and setting myself up for the next year and sort of planning some videos and some different things. So I'm super excited about like what's going to be coming out and like how much content I can talk about in second year, and yeah, just growing the channel. I think I've been focused a little more on that than just necessarily just making content. Um, but outside of the classes and YouTube, I've been fairly busy. It's no secret, I'm getting married. As Alex said,
Woo!
it's
Let's
August 15th,
go.
so I'm getting married in 5 days. So
Subscribe, guys. Subscribe for wedding content. Do it.
there's
Smash the subscribe button.
yeah, there's been lots of stuff going on for that. So whereas the boys, they took one course, like one 6 week course back to back. So they did two courses. I took two courses at the same time and just loaded up the front of my summer with courses. And ever since then, I've been pretty much wedding planning and doing all that stuff. But outside of that, yeah, I've just been trying to take a little bit of time. I haven't gotten many days off, but when I have, I've been up at the cottage doing some fishing, doing some canoeing, just getting out on the lake. Yeah, I've been catching a bunch of nice big pike, so I've been happy about that, and saw my first muskie but couldn't hook them. So I think that's going to be my goal for the next year or two, is trying to hook something a little bit bigger. I'm really hoping for like a 40 to 50 inch muskie, depending on where you're fishing. But yeah, and wedding stuff, all that. I'm just sort of trying to take some time and set myself up for next year well. As David said, we take the classes so we can focus a little bit more on our practicum next year and some of our courses, and really try to get the most out of it as we're applying to jobs and everything else. It will be a busy year. Um, and that brings me actually to my next question of, what are you two looking forward to in second year? What are you excited about? What are you nervous about? Just any of it, all of it, you know?
Let's see. First of all, congrats again to Jeff for getting married. David and I are super excited. Our little boy's all grown up, even though Jeff's older than me. But yeah, so we wish him and Jasmine nothing but the best. In terms of the upcoming year, I mean, like we kind of discussed earlier, and I mean, we've had thousands of conversations about this off camera in the last few weeks. What are new classrooms going to look like, not only at the university level, but what are they going to look like in our placements, right? There's all kinds of stuff's just happening, and a lot of it, knowing how the Ontario government's been acting the last several months, a lot of it's probably going to be last minute. So there'll be a lot of new things thrown our way, and so we'll have to be very, adaptive, flexible. in terms of the kind of novel situations that are going to pop up last second, as they always do in education and in teaching. But honestly, I'm just trying to enjoy my summer next couple of weeks, not try get too worked up about it, because if I get worked up, I'm gonna get all nervous and it'll be all over the place. But just trying to, recenter myself, stay calm, enjoy the next few weeks, enjoy kind of the present moment. And as soon as September 7th hits, I'll be in, school mode. But until then, just trying to have fun. Obviously, you gotta slowly prepare, keep it in the back of your mind what's going on. But yeah, just trying to enjoy myself next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think honestly, same as Alex. Just try not to worry too much about the upcoming year and what is going to happen. It's a lot's really up in the air right now, even though it's 2-3 weeks before we're starting. So just trying to take it easy. I think with anything new, especially with practicum, since none of us have done practicum, there's a little bit of nerves since we've been online for so long. But I think it's more excited nervousness, if anything. It'll be definitely be different getting back in front of the class and in person again. But I think the best I can do right now for myself is relax, take care of myself, and just be mentally prepared instead of staying up and worrying all night and thinking what will or what won't happen. Since I can't really do anything about that or change the future, just kind of go with the flow and make the best of it when we're back.
Yeah. And I definitely feel you on that sort of anticipation for the practicum. I definitely think that once we start our practicum, it's going to be like being thrown into the fire, just because we haven't done that yet. But I'm really excited for that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being back with students and teaching again. At this point, again, it's been a couple of years since I did some teaching in my master's, so I'm really looking forward to it. I really enjoy it. But I definitely think I might try to see if I can like teach in the first week that we're there in schools, like have a day or two to observe and just jump right into the teaching, just to really give myself like that experience and just try and see what happens. But again, it all depends on who your mentor teacher is. um, in terms of other stuff, I really think we are going to have to hit the ground running. I think it's going to be very fast paced and a lot of things going on during the year. And even though we don't have many courses because of the amount of practicum we have making up for our first year, I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're just not going to have time for, that we're going to need to make time for. For example, applying to jobs. And that's actually a pretty big one for me because obviously I'm getting married and we need to decide where we want to live and where we're going to be working. And my fiance at the time of recording this, but probably at the time of posting this, she'll be my wife. She works in a different city, so she's commuting for about an hour a day. So I don't know if we try to work it so that way we're working closer together and can sort of carpool together, or if we, work in two separate cities and have two separate vehicles, all that thing. Like, again, it just comes with married life and, finally like settling down together and starting our lives. So, I think the job application process is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how it works. And now that I've finished like the licensing exam, I'm pretty much able to start applying for jobs once the year opens. But obviously, there's going to be no postings until like January or February for the
Yeah.
following September. So there's not much I can do, but I'm just going to try to stay on top of things and put myself in the best situation as I can. Um, but I guess thinking about sort of preparing for second year and what we're anticipating about our second year, if we were to look back on our first year, how would you change how you prepared for it, or what would you do differently?
I mean, I probably wouldn't have done too much differently in terms of kind of like the physical layout of, desk, paper, pencils, whatever, laptop, so on,
Yeah.
because I had, school ended mid-March 2020, so I had mid-March and rest of April in terms of exam prep to conclude my undergraduate degree. So I kind of got used to the physical layout then. But one thing that took me, if I'm being honest, a few months to like get into was the routine of, going outside for a walk, trying to be active, making sure I'm still eating well, getting enough sleep, taking my vitamins and so on. So kind of my like the mental side of the routine and the whole process. The physical, like the actual setup, doing the work has never been really a problem for me, but just getting used to, especially because, cases were still fairly high for the most of like what, October up until like February, March.
Yep.
Spending a lot of time at home, not really getting to see, my friends, family, and so on. That was very difficult. And so kind of recalibrating myself mentally and spiritually and all that was something that it took me a while to do it during the school year, but at the beginning, the first month and a half to 2 months was really tough. Just like, okay, I'm back in school mode, but it's not school that I'm used to. I'm not going to be seeing my friends at the library every day. I'm going to be, waking up to seeing my family, which I love, and I'm very close to my family and I'm very appreciative of that. But, waking up, always the same routine. Go downstairs, have breakfast, class, boom, this, the kind of mundaneness of it, so to speak. So that's something that took a while to get used to. But apart from that, I wouldn't really change it. I've met a lot of great people. I'm very thankful and grateful for that. So for the most part, I wouldn't really change anything about my first year.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with Alex. I don't think I could have really prepared much better, just because there's been so much uncertainty, and I've adapted well, I'd say, given the circumstances, and being a very organized person that always has my schedule, and I know how well I work and how efficient I work. So I always made sure, I'd have my work done multiple days in advance if possible. I've never really been a person to leave something up to the last day. Definitely in terms of developing skills, I think just maybe my online technological video production and design skills, because just being online, we had a lot of, video production and presentations. And I have lots of, these crazy creative ideas for lessons and presentations, but I'm not the most artistic person. So making them aesthetically pleasing and, you know, good for keeping students engaged can be a little more difficult online if you don't have that artistic component.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that. I think that that's a part that's often overlooked in teaching. Like you're either talking about cool assignments to have students stay engaged, or you're talking about what you're going to be teaching them. But keeping them engaged during a lecture is you can either do it a couple ways, right? Like you either have it through participation or you have it through artistic effect. Um, and yeah, definitely in science and maths and stuff, it's definitely been a little more matter of fact through university. So I'm a little bit of the same way. I have a lot of these big ideas and artistic ideas, but surprisingly, for someone who won an art award in school, um, I have lost some of that talent. Um, so actually, that's what I'm trying to get back with a little bit of the YouTube and stuff, and like figuring out how to do that, because back when we were in high school, there wasn't all these crazy programs and video editing softwares and stuff. They were all very basic and simple. So I don't know. For me, there's so many things you can do now, but it takes time to learn it, and to learn certain softwares really well. In terms of preparation, though, I wouldn't necessarily say I would prepare differently. I think I do agree with Alex on a lot of things, like about getting into a routine. I'm a very organized person, but I've made two major moves since I started teachers college in the first couple months. Um, right when I started, I moved back from Waterloo, where I spent like 7, 8 years during my undergrad and master's, to where my family lives in the GTA. And then after a couple months, after we found out we were like placements were going to be canceled and all this, I made the move into my fiance's place, which is on the other side of the GTA. Um, which sort of, it's been great, but I wasn't really able to plan anything around it. I didn't really have, weekly hangouts with people, even if it was over Zoom because of the pandemic or other things. Some of my friends signed up for like men's league hockey in certain cities, but because I was moving so much, I didn't really do that. And I just think like it would have been really nice to have something to get away from school and get away from the computer, because as much as we talk about like, doing walks in the middle of the day and taking breaks between classes and assignments, a lot of my exercise comes from sports, and I'm sure Alex, you felt it too, like with basketball being shut down or not being able to play it. It really hurt. So I think my preparation would have been in different areas. I
Oh,
think
I
I,
miss
yeah,
basketball so much, man. I missed basketball so much. I was rehabbing a knee injury, so for me it was a little different. And we were only up and running from like we stopped in end December, opened up again in end February for like maybe 5 weeks, so not much even.
Mhm.
But I missed the basketball. Like even just going to even like during regular winter, during regular spring, summer, whatever, like I'm meeting up with friends, we're going to indoor courts, outdoor courts, and all three of us have played sports in some like reasonably competitive level throughout our lives before going to university, and so that's a huge part of our physical health, emotional health. And so yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just was
No,
just
you
like,
didn't
I
at all.
was like from end December to beginning of July, like barely any basketball, rehabbing the knee injury. I mean,
Mhm.
it was tough. It was like, when athletes are rehabbing an injury during the real season and then they get back for their first game. And I was like jittery. I was nervous. I was like, yeah, let's go. I was so pumped up. So yeah, it was a long 7 months, but yeah, it was nice to be back. But yeah,
Yeah. You know
it's,
what? And I think there's so much to say about having a life outside of school and your immediate family and just sort of using that to relax and kick back in different ways. It's a big stress relief. It's really good for your mental health. And I mean, everyone does different things. Everyone's interested in different things. Some people might be interested in artistic stuff, making music, making videos, arts and crafts, whatever it is that helps you relax, pottery, whatever. I just think like I would have prepared my personal life a little bit better. But also, hindsight is 2020. We're saying these things looking back at the last year, being like, yeah, school was fine. There wasn't too much to prepare for. But at the same time, like, I think it would have been nice to prepare in other ways. But
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I think like if no one else has anything to add, I'll probably end the podcast there because it's been about 20 minutes or so. And I don't want to make this one go too long just for the people watching. So yeah, for everyone who's watching, thank you so much for tuning in and watching through this podcast. We appreciate it, and we appreciate all the help growing our channel, growing our podcast. So thank you very much. But yeah, if you like this content and want to see anything more like it, please like and subscribe to the channel. And
Smash the subscribe button.
yeah,
Jeff's getting married. Let's smash the subscribe button.
yeah, and I guess as David's saying, smash the like button because I'm getting married. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And yeah, if you want to see more content, like and subscribe. And we'll see you all around. So have a great day and stay happy, safe, and healthy. Bye, everyone.